It is so good to see all of you here. Let's meet our three hosts for the evening. I'm Kathleen Hansen. I'm the GALA 411 Artistic Advisor. On my left is Jane. You want to say hello?
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
And somewhere down over here is Robin. You want to say hello, Robin? So we've got quite an agenda today for you. We've got a PowerPoint, questions. You're welcome to throw them in the chat. However, we might just answer them as we go. So if you want to wait till the end, and if there's something you want to jot down and see if we haven't addressed it, we will have some time at the end for questions. Sounds good?
So here's what we've got. We have a healthy showing of SSAA choruses and SATB choruses, and whoa, lots of TTBB choruses. Welcome, everybody. It looks like we have artistic directors and lots of liaisons and board members. Excellent. And a few singers, which probably double up some of those groups. And oh, yeah, lots of new people. Welcome, all you new people. And a few folks who have been just to one festival before. So we are excited to launch in and give you an overview of Festival 2024.
We do have a trans chorus, Jane. Abby's button just wouldn't submit.
Okay, great. Welcome to Abby and everybody. Good. We are going to start with a little PowerPoint here describing a little bit about Festival and hopefully answering most of your questions. If I can get back to the share screen. Okay, here we go. Robin, take it away.
Okay. So we will, at long last, be holding our next GALA Festival, July 10th to the 14th in Minneapolis, after a very long 8-year delay. For those who are new, GALA Choruses is an association. We have about 185 member choruses throughout the Americas. Mission is to support, guide, and inspire LGBTQ plus choruses and their allies to leverage the power of singing, create harmony and equity for all. We seek to elevate and promote the work and accomplishments of our member choruses. We educate and inspire, foster social activism and artistic impact through choral music, provide platforms for groups to connect and collaborate, and are committed to serving as a change agent by doing the work that cultivates spaces that create equity, access, and belonging. Oh, you changed my picture, Jane, you little rascal. So I'm Robin Godfrey. I am the executive director of GALA. We introduced Jane as our artistic director. Paul Cruz is our communications specialist, and Sue Bell is our member services director. So we try to hold festival every 4 years. We expect about 120 choruses and around 6,000 singers, which makes it the largest LGBTQ plus choral event in the world. It is a 5-day, energetic is an interesting word to pick, celebration of choral music and LGBTQ culture, wall-to-wall concerts, workshops, and social events. You'll hear us refer to a festival village, and what we mean by that is kind of the area around the performance halls and the hotels and restaurants. We generally have a set of chorus banners up on the lamp poles that creates what we refer to as the festival village. You look at the events that have occurred over many years now, and this doesn't go all the way back to the beginning because we've run out of space, but you can generally see the growth of the event with that little blip in Miami where we found out that women are not enthralled with 100-degree heat for festival. And then the two Denvers showing a comeback and indeed a new height in registered participants in 2016 in Denver. Jane, I'll let you speak to Minneapolis since it's your home.
Okay, we are really excited to host you all here in Minneapolis in 2024. For 2020, we had estimated that we would have just about 7,000 delegates. So we're hoping for a really good show of folks again for 2024. The city is a beautiful city outlined by the Mississippi River, lots of great restaurants, theaters, beautiful, beautiful venues, and you'll be learning about the performance venues in detail as we go through this info session today. Part of the Festival Village is a completely renovated Nicollet Mall, which is a pedestrian bus mall only, and it's just filled with nice places to eat, cafes that are outside on the street. And Robin will talk more about the proximity of the venues and hotels as we move forward. We have 10,000 choirs in Minnesota. There are actually 5 LGBT choirs in the Twin Cities, plus a queer orchestra and a queer band and a queer jazz band. So we're into the music and the queer stuff. So Calliope Women's Chorus is our oldest chorus here in the Twin Cities. The Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus is the next in terms of age, then One Voice Mixed Chorus, and our newest member is the Twin Cities Women's Choir. Shout Trans Chorus is on a little hiatus since COVID, but we are hoping that they are back and ready to join us when festival happens. So you can see there are lots of singers and volunteers waiting to welcome you.
So the map here gives you a little bit of sense of where things are. The performance venues are the auditorium at the Minneapolis Convention Center, kind of center bottom of the map. Orchestra Hall is just slightly north and west of the Convention Center. Central Lutheran is directly across the street from the Convention Center going east. And then PV Plaza is right next to Orchestra Hall. It's a beautiful outdoor space. Ballroom A is part of the Minneapolis Convention Center. And then Westminster Presbyterian is across the street from Orchestra Hall, where we will likely have some youth chorus activities. The hotels, will show a slide later that give you a little more information about the hotels, but you can get the sense that they are scattered as close as we could make them around the performance halls. So that's what we would refer to as the Festival Village. We do utilize an accessibility coordinator, and there'll be more information available about that as we go. But it's just someone who, if an individual gets into some sort of difficulty during the week of festival, there's a phone number they can call and get some help. All of our venues are ADA compliant, front and back of houses. All of the stages will be wheelchair accessible. Orchestra Hall is a bit more challenging. So if you have a number of singers in wheelchairs, you might want to think about your choice of performance spaces. There will be scooters available for rent for those who need some mobility assistance getting around the festival village. We'll have some designated quiet space for newer, diverse individuals. We provide the ASL interpreters for the blockbuster concerts. If your choir wishes to bring their own interpreter, that's certainly fine. We generally have a few interpreters who come who are willing to provide that service for other choruses as well, and we'll make those connections available as we move through the next, whatever it is, 12, 13 months.
12, 13 months. I'm going to give you a little overview of our 4 performance venues, and they are really beautiful spaces. The artistic directors, many artistic directors from GALA choruses were here in Minneapolis this weekend and had a chance to tour these spaces. I just want to give you a preamble and say all of this information is on the GALA website. And we'll put that link in the chat in a little bit, but it's under festival and then performance venues.
I just put it in.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathleen. So this is the Central Lutheran stage. It is, I'll give you a map of the whole sort of layout of the various stages, but it is a very unique church with gorgeous, gorgeous acoustics, a beautiful pipe organ, which is available for use by our choirs. And I know that some artistic directors are already planning to use this space, and particularly programming for music that will work really well in this particular venue. For each of the venues, the website also has a complete stage diagram. So these are traditional choral risers that, whoops, I guess I got to go here. These are traditional choral risers, and they will have a shell in the back. Again, you can see that in the photograph here. There will be 2 video screens. Actually, I think to see those, we have to go backwards. Yeah, 2 video screens, one on either side of the stage. Wheelchair access will be available via this ramp. And choirs will flow onto stage right and exit stage left. Central Lutheran Stage has 1,700 seats and about space for 225 singers on stage. So there are actually 2 pianos in this space. One of them will be here on stage, and then there's another one that will live kind of over on this stage within the audience. That was a question we got last weekend. So that is Central Lutheran Stage. All of our stages will be mic'd and amplified as needed. We are already working with the sound engineers to clarify that we want sound to be minimally amplified so that it sounds very natural and it doesn't sound like a rock band. This is Orchestra Hall. It holds just over 2,000 seats. It has these unique, what they call cubes. They are for acoustical reasons and also aesthetic reasons. Of course, you can see Orchestra Hall with orchestra here, but I have in a little bit some photos of a choir in this space. So Orchestra Hall can seat or fit about 275 singers on stage, and these are rather raked steps. This is a space where it has a fairly wide width, 16 feet from stage to the end of the stage platform. And again, each of these venues, you can check in and see the exact dimensions. So if you're planning choreography or some kind of movement down front, make sure that you check out those details on the stage venue, the stage diagram. This gives you just a little easier way to see these steps that go up in the back of the stage. This is a choir of about 40, in case you are wondering. Gorgeous acoustics. The backstage space at Orchestra Hall is a bit clunky. It's an older hall, and so just know that wheelchairs need to take sort of a different route through a freight elevator and up and around. So accessibility will be available in every venue, but it'll be a little more tricky in Orchestra Hall. And again, our accessibility coordinator will help with that process. Then our third hall is the Minneapolis Convention Center stage. This one seats just under 3,500 in terms of audience. If you look, this is our most accessible space in terms of mobility and wheelchairs. So if you can see my pointer, this is a ramp that goes all the way up onto stage and another ramp that exits off of stage. There's also a space backstage for wheelchairs to easily get onto stage. So this is actually the most accessible stage that we have. If you have a number of singers that have mobility needs, this would be a great venue to select. There's a diagram of the convention center stage. It will hold about 175. We may be able to get that up to 200. We're working on the depth of the platforms here, and that will determine the final number of people that we can get onto stage. Again, here's this accessible entrance and accessible, other screen, accessible entrance and accessible exit. This is a very large hall. Let's see, I'm going to try to give you, on the website, you can see a diagram of the 3 pods that are in the back of the hall. The pods actually rotate and turn out. So we will light or not light the pods in the back of the hall in terms of if we have a smaller concert, we won't utilize those pods in the back. All right, so this gives you a little bit of overview. The Minneapolis Convention Center complex is really the center of the performing venues. This circle right here are rooms that we've rented that will be your rehearsal and warm-up spaces. And then this is the convention center stage that we just looked at, that auditorium stage. This is the ensemble stage, which apparently didn't come up yet in my diagram, but it's next. Directly across the street. So you leave this stage. This is going to be sort of the welcome lobby area. Directly across the street is the Central Lutheran stage. So that one is super close. And then if you go out this door and 2 blocks, you will enter Orchestra Hall and PV Plaza. And I'll talk more about the opening at PV Plaza. All of these venues, actually not the church, but this venue is also accessible by Skyway. And the Hyatt Regency is as well on this side of the convention center. Okay, this ballroom, which seats about 2,000 people, will be our venue for ensemble concerts. So this is the largest ensemble stage that we've ever had for festivals. This was one of the requests that we had from choirs to make sure that we had ample space for people that want to come cheer for ensembles. That stage will be built out in this particular ballroom with seating around the sides like this. Every stage will have a piano and a drum set and an accessibility ramp or whatever is needed to get all singers onto stage. The 40 singers maximum is, it's a little bit flexible because there's a fair bit of space here. So if you have a super large ensemble, you could probably get more on there. And we'll talk a little bit, Kathleen's going to talk in a little bit about what's a chorus versus an ensemble. Opening day, this is July 10. There will be a whole bunch of big festivities in PV Plaza. And this is PV Plaza here, right outside of Orchestra Hall. We're going to build an outdoor stage and folks can bring chairs or sit or stand in that space and watch Twin Cities bands and performers. We'll have food trucks. We will also do a Minnesota Welcome concert, probably in Orchestra Hall or in the Convention Center stage. Ensembles will start performing on the first day. We'll also have sort of a meet and greet lounge in the Convention Center and lots of food and drink vendors. If you've never been to a festival, it's a really busy event. So there are concurrently things happening pretty much in 3 halls at all times on this very first day. And again, this is the schedule from 2020. So it will switch somewhat for 2024. We're working on that schedule right now. But generally, this opening day are events in PV Plaza, opening concert, and then ensemble concerts in the evening. And then this gives you a good sense for how most of the days at festival are laid out. So workshops in the morning, that's the purple block here. Coffee concerts each morning. These are choirs that applied and were selected to do an hour-long concert. I'll talk about those in a little bit. These are the orange slots. So they happen in the morning. And then in the afternoon, concert blocks in 2 sections. So one that starts at noon and one that starts at 3:30. And these are back-to-back 30-minute concerts by our choruses. In the evening, we will have ensemble concerts and blockbuster concerts. And that's sort of what the schedule looks like for most of the week. These are just 3 more days. Coffee concerts. These have already been selected. There are 7 choirs that will be performing in coffee concerts, 50-minute performance sets, and as I described, they will be in our primary concert halls. Blockbuster concerts. These are the things that happen in the evening. So for blockbuster concerts, these are concerts where your chorus can submit, can say that you're interested in performing, and they will be programmed by theme. So again, these are the themes from from 2020, and we are working right now in the month of May to figure out what our blockbuster themes will be for 2024. But you will have a chance in the next couple months to sign up and say, I've got a great song that might fit this particular blockbuster. And then the producer of that blockbuster will be in touch with you and program how those performances are coordinated. Kathleen, I'm going to pass to you.
You betcha. I don't know if somebody wants to magically make me appear, but I want to back up just a moment for those folks who are new, especially. The one thing that every chorus gets to do is have a 30-minute set. Beyond that, a lot of the things are, add-on or additional. So if you're a chorus, you get a 30-minute set. That is from getting on the stage to getting off the stage. So we say, somewhere around 24 minutes of music to make that happen. Those happen during those concert blocks. Anything you're doing comes out of that time. If you need to move something, if you've got MC work, all of that comes out of that half an hour. And as kind of shown on the diagrams on stage, there will be a piano, there'll be a music stand, there'll be a drum set. If you need things other than that, we can help you make that happen. But in general, we do suggest that you try to keep your instrumentation simple, because we don't have elaborate rehearsal times to get those things rolling. You'll just get a 15-minute tech rehearsal, usually the day before your chorus. I am available to talk to artistic directors individually about programming and advice. One thing that I love to tell people is bring something that represents you well, that you'll feel really comfortable with. This is probably not the best time to do something you feel a little insecure about, especially knowing that you might not get 100% of your members there. But if you have something that's innovative or interesting or beautiful or funny, bring it. And we would absolutely love to hear that. So you can email me if you want to have a conversation. That is a question that I don't know the answer to, that maybe Jane can help with. Is there a way to play tracks to sing along? I'm assuming that we can, but I'm not sure what the setup is.
There is a way to play tracks. Just know that your tech rehearsal is very short. So you don't want to bring tracks that are super complicated, just because you won't have a lot of time to rehearse. But as long as you have them set up in a really consistent and simple way, tracks should work.
Great. All right, we can move to the next slide. So what is an ensemble and what is a chorus or choir? Because sometimes the thing we label the group with doesn't actually fit into the category. So the way we're defining this is, if you have a main ensemble that, I use the word ensemble, if the main group that is joined GALA choruses is considered your chorus. So whether that has 15 people in it or 30 people in it or 150 people in it, that your main group, that group gets to have a 30-minute concert block. An ensemble we're defining as a group within a group. So if your main chorus has a small ensemble or a large small ensemble, those are the groups that get 15-minute sets. So choruses, main ensembles, get to perform in one of the first three venues we showed you, and ensembles have their own venue that is set up for that. In addition, we're going to have an opening day ensemble festival. We're encouraging collaborations in general. If you do want to collaborate with someone, we need to know that as soon as possible so that we can give you back-to-back slots. So for example, if you've got two choruses and they each have a 30-minute set and you want to sing something together in between your sets, we'll squish those back-to-back as well. And we want to schedule this in a way that your chorus performance will not conflict with your ensemble performances, which is one of the reasons that the ensembles are scheduled in the evening. If a chorus has more than one small ensemble, you're allowed to have up to 2 of your small ensembles perform. If you've got 3 or 4 or 12, you're going to have to choose so that we can accommodate everyone.
And maybe I'll just add to that, Kathleen. You could, like, let's say you have 4 ensembles, they could share a concert block. So the idea is
a great idea.
Yeah.
They could share an ensemble set.
I'm sorry.
They
Thank
can't
you,
share
Robin.
a concert block.
An ensemble block. Thank you.
Keep track of our own semantics here.
That's right.
Additional activities, opportunities for ensembles. We've contracted with Deke Sharon, who is the musical director of Pitch Perfect, a cappella guru, who will be coming in to work with ensembles who want to come in a day early to do sessions. It's going to be kind of a masterclass style where you'll have the opportunity to watch him work with other groups, kind of a coaching under glass. So you'll just need to indicate if that's something you're interested in. If you are interested in doing that, like this says, it'll be a day early. So it's a really great way to extend your experience. Next, I mentioned this, collaboration, shared concert sets, whether it's that you decide, and you'll just need to let us know, like if you want to bring your group and only take up half of the time. So let's say you want to bring your group and only do 15 minutes, but you want to partner with somebody who wants to do 15 minutes and you can want to share that spot. We can accommodate that. It's common if there are two different groups who want to put something together. Again, just communicate with us so we can be very, very clear and put everybody where they need to go. Does not even have to be a group that is right in your backyard. We've had collaborations from groups who are across the country or across the world. So just request a shared or back-to-back concert block when you register.
Got a question out there on who can participate in the Deke Sharon. Are we limiting that to registered ensembles, or can others participate?
Do you know, Jane?
Well, that's a good question. My assumption has been that this is for ensembles, although it makes sense to me that in a masterclass setting that individuals could come and watch. But I think what we need to do is note that question and then figure out the answer.
Yeah. And if it's in that big hall, maybe we can have spectators.
Yeah, that's cool.
Youth courses. So we know that COVID gave us some challenges keeping youth courses together because we have such dependent overlap. We think we have an idea of which youth courses are out there and want to perform. But if you have something happening that's new, or you've got a youth course coming down the pipeline, or you think you have a youth course that might want to perform independently, can you please let us know? It'll help us finish programming what goes where. But in general, we do have an opportunity for youth courses to perform. We've got workshops and guest presenters. We have the ability to invite youth courses to collaborate in other ways, including blockbuster concerts, which we will talk about later. I know some of you don't know what those are yet. And we'll kind of come up with some youth-centric spaces for social activities and meet and greets and things like that. Now, in addition to the concert block for your chorus or the ensemble performance time, there are some other options for participation. Is now the time we talk about blockbuster concerts, or am I kicking that can down the road a little bit, Jane?
Yeah, I think I was going to take this one.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So this is just in the middle of the week, we are planning what we're calling a choral carnival. And this will be an event that, let me see if I can, I don't know how to pin this. Okay. Choral Carnival, which will be events happening all over downtown Minneapolis. One of the fun activities here is the beer choir, and we are going to be having a queer beer choir as part of this festival. Sing-along events, cabarets. There will also be local choirs here that are not GALA choirs that will be performing on this event. We're looking at late night dance in PV Plaza and all kinds of international performances as well. So one way that individuals can perform at festival is through mass festival choirs. So delegates will be invited to sign up for festival choruses when you register. So delegates can sign up if they are part of an existing chorus, or delegates can sign up if they are part of, not part of a chorus and just attending. Or for example, spouses of someone singing in a chorus could come and participate in a festival chorus. So these will be directed by conductors within and without the GALA system, the GALA network. In 2020, these were the festival choruses that we had organized. The festival choruses will look something like this, but we're reevaluating and looking at what exactly those festival choruses will be for this festival. Typically, these festival choruses perform 2 to 3 songs at an evening blockbuster concert. So that's where they get to shine. The rehearsals will be held probably on the first day that you're arriving and also throughout the week. Showstoppers. All right, so Showstoppers are a new event that we instituted in 2016. Part of what happened was since there are 3 halls going on at once, there were sometimes performances of choirs that were just incredible, and only a smaller group of a number of audience members got to see them. So the Showstoppers were ways to bring back some of those amazing performances and allow them to perform again in the closing concert. So we will have a group of people watching every concert that happens and looking out for the kinds of performances that we want to bring back at the end. So encourage your singers to stay to the end of festival, because you're going to have 24 hours notice, and you will, if you're selected, be invited to come and do a second performance at the closing ceremonies. Robin, you want to take this one?
Sure. We run a series of workshops in the mornings. They're focused on, some of them focused on topics of interest to singers, some for chorus board members or volunteers or individuals that have certain leadership roles, like folks who serve as the membership coordinator or the fundraising coordinator in their chorus. We run a couple related to artistic directors, but generally the ADs don't really have the time for these. So they're focused mostly on singers, board members, but they run every morning other than opening day. And that schedule will come out in the spring of 24. So the live broadcast is an evolving concept. In 2016, we were able to broadcast most of the coffee concerts and most of the evening blockbusters, but not the concert blocks. We are hoping that for 2024, we'll be able to broadcast nearly all of the festival performances. There will be a paywall to view the broadcast either live or after festival. Still working on the details on how you purchase a pass and how all that will work. But that's the game plan at the moment, is to try to have people able, whether it's singers from your chorus who weren't able to come with you to festival, or our choruses who nobody from the chorus is able to come to festival, or other LGBT plus choruses around the world, people from ACDA or Chorus America that are just interested in choral music. We'll be marketing to all of those groups to be able to view festival. Just a little information on hotel costs, showing the hotels that are included within the block that we have set up contracts with. You can get a sense of how many rooms do we have at each of those properties. The Hyatt and the Hilton are the two biggest properties, the Marriott City Center being third. We've shown there how far away they are from kind of the middle of the festival village and what's the room rate for single or double occupancy. There'll be more information about these properties as we go. It's really helpful to us if chorus members stay within the hotel block. One, because most of the hotels close to the performance centers are in the block, but it also impacts the financial support that we get from the city.
And how many hotel room nights do we use? So it is most helpful to us if folks stay within the hotel block. Housing will open probably in early January of 2024 after the performance schedule is released, so that you know what day your chorus is performing, and then people can make their travel plans from there. There'll be lots of detail later on as we go about how the process of registering for hotel rooms works, but for now, if you're on planning purposes, there's some information about what hotels are in the block, how far away are they, and what's the room rate. We have a couple of spreadsheets available in the Chorus Toolkit. So in the section of the festival part of the website, there's an item called the Chorus Toolkit, and inside that, there's an item called Festival Fundraising. That contains a couple of spreadsheets. One is this one, which helps you estimate the costs that are typically paid by the chorus. So registration for the chorus, registration for any ensembles you may be bringing, your director and accompanist registration, travel and housing, food for your staff, and then the list at the bottom are all entirely optional. We make available hotel ballrooms for a final rehearsal. As Jane and Kathleen mentioned, the techs are a very short on and off process. They are not a time where you can do a final rehearsal of your set. So we make spaces available if you wish for that. Whatever instrumentalists you may be choosing to use. And again, we'll provide some assistance to you to find local musicians if you wish. ASL interpreters, again, we can link you to someone who is available to interpret your concert if you're not bringing your own interpreter with you and you wish to use one. Chorus banner, these are the banners that are flying on the lampposts around the festival village. You can purchase one that will have your chorus name on it, entirely up to you. And if you have any merchandise that you want to consign to the store, there's a $100 fee for that. Again, there's no obligation to do it, but if you have some kind, whether it's t-shirts, coffee mugs, CDs, whatever it might be that you want us to sell for you at the store, it's a $100 fee. And then after the event, we send you the proceeds from what of your merchandise was sold. Delegate registration provides your delegate registration badge, gets you into everything with the exception of a fundraiser. So all of the concert and ensemble blocks, coffee concerts, blockbuster concerts, workshops, all of that is covered by the individual delegate registration fee. We will open individual registration in early July, which is a little later than we had originally planned. The early registration deadline will be October 31st. That's the $299 rate. Regular registration will run through December 31st, and then late registration runs through on-site. For youth and disabled individuals, the rate is $175, and it stays that way through the entire registration period. Youth is defined as under 21. Disabled covers anyone on Social Security, disability, or whatever the corollary to that is. If it's someone from Canada or Mexico, we do not ask for proof of that. We have a senior regular rate and a senior assistance rate. We have seniors who are in need of additional financial support. They are welcome to use that rate. We do not ask for proof of their financial need. So in terms of dealing with scholarships for individuals in your courses who need assistance and aren't in one of those categories, we provide one free registration for every 20 paid from your chorus. And then it's up to the chorus how those get allocated to the individual singers, because you are in a much better position to know who needs financial assistance than we are. So if you have 80 paid registrants, you'll get 4 free registrations, and then you'll just let us know what individual's name you want those free registrations put in. Represents about a $90,000 scholarship fund that GALA provides. The other aspect of individual registration, we've had a number of choruses that'll say, look, we're going to have new members who don't start until the spring season 2024, so they have no option to acquire the early registration rate, because that period closes before they ever start with the chorus. Or we have people who just haven't made their minds up, whatever situation might be. The chorus can purchase early registration credits. So you might go out and say, okay, we think before we get to October 31st, we think there might be another 10 people who want to come, who would need to be able to access that lowest rate. So you can go out and purchase early registration credits. And the details of how you do that, Sue will provide as we go. You can then assign those to a specific chorus member once you're ready to do that. If you've guessed too high and you don't need as many as you bought, you can sell them on the festival marketplace. It's just a place where individuals can go in and buy and sell different types of registration. So you can go in and sell an early registration. You can go in and sell a regular registration. Chorus and ensemble registration opens tomorrow at noon Eastern. You register through the Integra Planner software. You do actually need to pay for your registration, as well as go in and complete the paperwork. You must be members in good standing in order to register. That means your dues have to be current. Performance slots are secured first come, first served basis. Once they're full, other choruses interested in attending go on a waiting list. We usually see about 10 to 13% dropout rate. So groups who register their chorus now and later find out they can't get enough singers to come to be able to perform will have openings later on that will get assigned to choruses on the waiting list as we work through the next year or so. There's a questionnaire that you complete as part of the registration process, where you have an opportunity to indicate your first and second choice for performance halls. You identify your festival liaison. That's the person with whom GALA will communicate about festival matters. That person has to then be in a position to pass on information to your singers, that they are our primary communication link to your chorus.
Should I jump in on this one, Rob?
Yeah, I was going to say 2 through 6 are more yours, Jane.
Yeah. So if you, I'm going to go back to 2 for a second. If you have a particular need to be in one of the calls for some reason, just make sure you add a note about that so that we know why that is. In the past, we have been able to get to assign either first or second choice to every choir that performs. So I'm hoping that works again. It's also helpful for us to know if your chorus needs to perform early or late in the festival week for any reason. So for example, let's say that your choir director also has a synagogue choir and they need to be gone on Saturday or whatever it is. That's really important for us to know up front so that we can schedule that into the master plan at the beginning and not have to rework things later on. Note that if you're performing early in the festival, particularly the first day, your tech happens the day before. So again, when it comes out, you'll be able to see when your tech schedule is assigned, but just sort of know that as you're requesting when you want to perform, or if you have a particular early or late request. The other thing that's helpful for us to know is if you are a choir that really likes to open a concert block, so again, one of these sets of 4 or 5 choruses, or if you want to be the closer for a concert block, that would be great for us to know. Actually, assigning those spaces depends on availability, but it's always helpful to know who's interested in either of those roles as a chorus. Kathleen talked about number 5. If there's a partner with whom you want to partner and you need to do back-to-back sets, again, let us know that when you register tomorrow or later. Give us as much detail as you can. Number 6, if your chorus has performing conflicts, that we will look out for your ensemble performance schedule conflicts. But if there are other kinds of things, let's say your artistic director actually conducts 2 different choirs, or your accompanist might play for different choirs. Those are the things that are harder for us to catch. So we'd love it if you could put that information into the registration form so that we know that in advance. I'm going to go back to number 5 again. If you're planning to partner with a chorus, make sure that both of you list the other. So that we know that you've actually talked and you have a plan to perform together. And finally, number 7, I know someone on this info session asked if there are mentors. Yes, the registration form asks if your artistic director or your festival liaison would like to have a mentor. And it also asks if you would like to be a mentor. So sign up if you are in need or if you'd like to help with that. Okay, Rob, do you want to talk through the countdown here?
Sure. It's just a list of dates on which things are happening. So we're starting to move through that process now. Chorus ensemble registration opens tomorrow, again at noon Eastern. We're a little off there on delegate registration opening. We're going to push that back to early July.
Okay.
We talked about the deadlines for early registration discount, regular registration discount, housing opening in January of 24. And then we'll get into some of the other details as we get closer. Your song list, licensing verification, production worksheets, all of that due in the spring. your introduction videos. We found in 2016, we adopted a practice that Jane and I saw at a Various Voices festival, where rather than having a speaker on stage doing chorus introductions, the choruses provide a 1-minute intro video that we play as you're coming onto the stage. It gives you the opportunity to be a little more creative and individualistic about how you introduce yourselves rather than some dry, standardized speech being read on the stage. And I think that's about, there will be other puzzle pieces. These lists get continually updated on the festival website, but that gives you a rough idea of how the ramp up to the event goes.
I'm going to do a little shout out for the April deadline when your program list and your licensing are all due. Never fear, Kathleen is going to do some kind of webinar on programming probably this summer, just so you can have someone to go to that has been to a festival. You can ask questions, and she will go through all the information that you need about submitting your program and submitting your licensing and all that detail. Okay, Robin, I'm glad you like your new photo that I put in here. So these are the folks that you can contact if you have questions. Kathleen and I are working on programming. Sue Bell is the registration guru, and everything else I listed here for Robin. Look at that. Right on the nose with 1 minute to spare.
We have questions that we haven't addressed as we went, but we need.
That's great.
I want to just jump in for the last 30 seconds here and say, the first time I went to festival, I knew that I had my concert block and I wasn't sure what else to sign up for. So that's something, if you're not sure, request a mentor, talk to me. We have opportunities for participation in Blockbuster concerts, which is a once a day concert that is themed. And just let us know. I'm looking at the chat. If we are share accompanists, do we still have to pay the accompanist fee? So registration, each person needs registration. They don't need to register twice.
Let me be clear on that, Kathleen, there is no accompanist fee. It was simply an estimate that we put in there for if you want to borrow, utilize somebody else's accompanist, you're probably going to have to pay them something.
I see some stress about tomorrow, things open tomorrow. You don't have to register tomorrow. We do encourage you to register right away, but it does not have to be tomorrow.
We won't sell out the slots. Robin, how soon are they gone? Like, does it take 2 months? I don't quite remember.
I guess somewhere between the middle and end of June, we'll be sold out of performance slots.
Great. That's helpful.
We have any other unanswered questions in chat?
Registration opens tomorrow at noon Eastern. Each individual needs an individual registration regardless of how many groups they perform with, is my understanding. Yes?
Yeah, an individual only has to register once, but we need to know if they're members of more than one chorus for scheduling purposes, so that we don't schedule the two choruses they sing in up against each other.
There are questions about this PowerPoint. It is already up in the festival toolkit. So you can get this as a PowerPoint. It's also up there as a PDF. And there are tons of really cool videos that you can share with your chorus. We try to give you lots of tools to encourage and invite your singers to attend. Robin, there was a question in the registration for this session on COVID protocols. So I'm going to toss that your way.
If festival were being held tomorrow, I expect that it would be masks would be optional. And up to the individual choruses. Obviously, we have no way of knowing what will happen between now and next summer. So we will follow whatever the recommended protocols are for Minneapolis when we get there, and we'll give people lots of notice. But that's where we would be as of today.
There were a few more questions here that I'll try to answer. These were part of what folks listed when they were registered for this session. One person is saying, how do we decide if we should add another ensemble, whether that's doable? My sense is that if you have one chorus and an ensemble, that as long as you're careful about how you schedule participation in things like blockbusters, it's very feasible to send both your chorus and your ensembles. And yes, the schedules will be separated and the tech schedules will be separated as well.
Question?
Oh.
No, there's a question here about, will you get an email to register? If we haven't sent out a live link yet that lets you get to chorus registration, we will do that first thing in the morning. Question about whether any hotels offer special rates. Those are the rates that we showed on that slide are the contracted rates with the hotels.
Someone else asked if they registered for 2020, will they have the same concert block schedule that they already were assigned? No. Everything's new. We have different choirs coming, so it will be an entirely new schedule. This person said, are there any tricks to registering efficiently? I think just read through that list of items that I said to be sure to know before you register, so that when you get into the system, you know who your festival liaison is, you know which performance venue you want to select. That will make your registration much easier. And again, just a reminder, you're only registering your chorus and your ensemble if you have one. No individual registrations yet.
Quick question, Jane. Jane did add a few little things to this deck today. Will we be able to replace the one that's up there with this? Somebody noticed that they were slightly different. Sharp eye.
They're not. I uploaded it like 2 hours ago. So,
Okay.
If someone found something that doesn't look accurate, send me the link. Maybe there is an old one that's up there that I don't know about.
Micah says they're different, I promise. All right, we'll take a look, but also
yeah, send me a link. Any other questions?
Hey friends, I'm just popping in here and I'm sorry, my question's a little too long to chat. First of all, this presentation has been fantabulous. So thank you so much for that. My question is, I know you mentioned that we didn't have to submit payment like immediately right away. So if we like logged in to try to look at schedules tomorrow, like are we able to like place a hold, or should we basically not even try to register until we are able to submit payment?
You can go ahead and register. I think what we'll do is if we don't have payment within 30 days, you'll hear from us for a final. You're going to lose your place in line unless we have payment. But you can pay by check. And this is what I'm trying to say. You can go in and register and indicate that you're going to send us a check. And as long as we have it within 30 days, you're good. If for whatever reason no payment shows up, we will be in touch.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Sounds great.
If you don't know if your dues are current, for example, or if you have trouble getting into your registration system, Sue is your best friend, and you can reach Sue at info@galachoruses.org. Kathleen, maybe put that toolkit link into the chat again if you have it at your fingertips.
That's the main festival site, and there are a couple links on that. You can click around to find them.
Great.
And Sue just put the specific toolkit up.
Great. So again, this is the beginning. There will be a webinar about how you register for housing. There will be a webinar on how you program for festival. Robin, Sue, I assume there will be some kind of webinar before individual registration opens. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll do a number of webinars aimed at the festival liaisons. To let them know how they go about doing all the different things that they will need to do.
Perfect.
There was a question here about what dues are from a chorus that's in their first year. Most likely $250, unless the chorus has gotten to a budget size of over 50,000, but most likely $250.
Great. We are here to help you. So just contact us if you want some more information or need something from us. And we're going to end with a fun little video about festival to get you excited.
LGBTQ choirs inspire and connect singers from all around the world, and GALA Choruses is proud to lead the North American LGBTQ choral movement. Join us for a once-in-a-lifetime choral event in Minneapolis, Minnesota, July 10th through 14th, 2024 for GALA Festival. Many of us have waited 8 long years to sing together again at Festival, and we can't wait to see you. Many of us will also discover Festival for the very first time. If this is you, welcome. GALA Choruses Festival is the largest LGBTQ choral event in the world. It's an opportunity to deepen our commitment to social justice and our vision of a world where all voices are free. It's a time to create the music and art that brings us all together. But above all, GALA Choruses Festival is a time to build community within the LGBTQ choral movement. Just imagine 7,000 GALA chorus singers and our friends harmonizing in song and taking over downtown Minneapolis. Learn more at galachoruses.org/festival. Join us.